Okay, so now I'm going to shift the focus to the room owner, and specifically, how does one actually set up and create a trading room, and how do they use that trading room to build a portfolio and share their trading calls with their members? Again, if you're watching this as a sub broker or any sort of a partner of a brokerage, you are more likely going to be interested in using trading rooms as a room owner. So this is going to be definitely very relevant for you. So creating a room is actually very easy on trading rooms, and we're going to go through all the different steps. So the first thing you want to do is click on the plus button over here, and that's going to take you to this page. And this is where you can go ahead and get started with the room creation process. So the first thing you want to do is you want to name your trading room. I'm going to name this trading room Raghu's trading room. And you want to go ahead and just specify an image. This is going to be your profile image, just like any other platform. I'm just going to use some very generic picture over here. And I'm going to name or describe the room. So you want to describe it, just a general description of the room, what it's about. So here, hi, here I will be trading equities on an intraday basis. Okay. If I have a website, I can specify that. Here, you can specify your minimum investment amount. This is the minimum amount that a person must have in their brokerage account in order to access your room. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this 1,000 rupees. This is going to be dependent on the type of strategy you're running, and you want to really think about this number before you input it. At the bottom here, you want to specify whether this is going to be a public room or a private room. So a public room basically becomes discoverable on the Explore page. A private room will be private and will not be available to anybody except who you open it up to. So this is going to be very useful for anyone who's managing, or helping manage the accounts of their friends and family. It's also probably very useful for a sub-broker to make it private, because a sub-broker or any sort of partner of a brokerage may not want to make their portfolio public. So I'm going to go ahead and make this private. Next, you want to specify whether you want this to be a free room or a paid room. I'm going to make it a paid room for now, and I'm going to show you all the different information that needs to be inputted if it is a paid room. But you can also make it a free room if you want to. If you make it a paid room, then you want to specify whether you want to enable a 7-day free trial. I'm going to say yes. And then finally, you want to specify your membership fees and your distribution fees. So here, what you want to do is you want to specify how much does the person need to pay on either a monthly, quarterly, annually, or any combination of all three basis in order to access your room. So I'm going to say the person has to spend, let's say, 100 rupees per month, and the amount has to be at least 100. So I'm going to make it 100. And I'm going to say this corresponds to 1 unit. And out of the 100, I'm going to share, let's say, 10 rupees. And so that's going to be the distribution slab. We'll talk about distribution in a little later in the video, but that's going to be essentially anybody who refers my room to their friends and their network will be eligible to receive 10% of all the room fees. So it's essentially like an affiliate program or a referral program, whatever you want to call it, but on a room basis. I'm also going to have a quarterly plan. I want to nudge people to subscribe to a quarterly plan. So I'm going to go ahead and make this 250, right? And this is again for 1 unit. And here I'm going to be sharing, let's say 25, right? And let's say I also want an annual plan, and I make the annual plan, let's say 900 for 1 unit, and distribution fees here will be 90. Then click on next. And here, this is where the magic happens. So here you want to just come up with a general tag for your room. Now, the reason we have this is because If at any point in time you do decide to make your room publicly available, then this is what makes your room discoverable on TradingRooms. We have an algorithm in the back end, which allows the right rooms to show up based on what people are looking for. Now, you might be saying, well, I have a private room. How does this matter? This is also going to come up in your room description. So if you remember earlier, when we were discovering different rooms, every room had a primary strategy, which was being shown. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this is going to be some sort of a, let's say, relative value investing strategy. Okay. And if I had to pick a secondary tag of some sort, I'm going to say relative value. Okay. And the holding period, if you remember, I was saying intraday earlier. And finally, I'm going to be trading stocks, and the markets will be equity. And as far as factors are concerned, let's assume it's cash intraday. And I click on submit. My room is now created. So you can see here that my room has been created, and I can go ahead and access my rooms. So I'm going to click on Raghu's trading room, and this is the room that I've created. Now, you can see that I've created a room. Now, there is no performance because I have not started trading yet. By the way, on the right here, you can see that, since the markets are open, we have live prices coming in. I've actually created a watch list of some stocks, and we'll be talking about all of that. But before talking about all of that, I'm going to very quickly talk about how do I actually share my room with my network? If I want to invite my members to my room, how do I do that? I click on the share button. And this allows me to very easily go ahead and share this room link to anywhere. I have Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and even Twitter. And so I can go ahead and copy this link, or I can directly share it on my social media platforms. Let's say I want to copy the link, then this is what the link is going to look like, right? So you can see that it's essentially each room has its own URL, and I can go ahead and share this link with my network, and I can do whatever I want with it. So I can set up an email campaign and have people, click on the link, which allows them to visit the room and register. I can also share my introducer link, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And so I can do all sorts of different things. But when it comes to people actually coming in and subscribing to my room specifically, this is how I do it. And I share the link with my network. Okay, so now that we have successfully created our room, we are going to go ahead and show you how you can use your room to trade, and basically all the different functionalities that are associated with becoming a room owner on TradingRooms. The first thing you want to know is, obviously on the left, this is the console for being able to see all the rooms you've created and all the rooms you've joined as a member and all the rooms you're following. And on the right is where you will be able to see everything associated with the trading activity for your room. So this is the room that I've created, right? Raghu's trading room. And obviously there's no performance because I have not actually started trading. Now, I do have a position right now on this room, so I'm going to go ahead and actually exit this position. Okay, so my order has been successfully transmitted, and that's that. Now, what I want to do right now is I want to really quickly basically show you some things related to how you can start trading on your room. So let's now keep our focus on the right here. So on the right, this is where you will be able to search for different securities and trade them. And we also have a functionality called the watch list. The watch list is basically where you can watch all the securities that you want to trade. So for example, if I want to trade TCS, I search for TCS, and instead of clicking on TCS, if I click on the blue ribbon over here, then what happens is TCS gets added to my watch list. Now, using this watch list, I can go ahead and pick on whatever security I want to trade. And I can go ahead and specify things like the order type and the price and the number of shares or lots to trade if I'm trading derivatives. So I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to do a market order. Actually, let's do a limit order. And I'm going to just let's do 5 shares, or let's do 1 share. And I will specify the price. As you can see, TCS is trading at 3,265. I'm going to buy at a lower price to show you what happens when the order doesn't go through. So you can see here, one thing I also want to mention really quickly is I do have a member. His name is Lakshmish, and Lakshmish is basically subscribed to my room. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this trade, and we can see how it gets reflected on both my portfolio and Lakshmish's portfolio. So I'm going to go ahead and buy 1 share of Reliance, sorry, 1 share of TCS, right? So I'm going to go ahead and change this to 3,250 so that the order does not get filled. And we're going to take that order right now, and it's an intraday trade. So this order successfully transmitted. Okay. And that means the order has gone through. And at this point, if we go to the order book, we will be able to see this. And the reason it's not coming up in our portfolio is because the order is pending. It's pending on my book, and it's pending on Lakshmish's order book. Lakshmish, of course, has actually subscribed and linked his brokerage account. So these trades are being taken on Lakshmish's brokerage account. So I'm going to go ahead now and show you the portfolio as well. That's not going to get reflected in the portfolio because the trade has not been taken on the live markets because it's a pending order. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and modify this and change it to a market order. And let's click on modify. And so now the order has actually gone through and it's been executed at the room owner level. And if I scroll down, it's also been taken on Lakshmish's brokerage account successfully. So you may be wondering some things right now. If you look at the price that my order went through and the price that got traded on Lakshmish's account, why is there a discrepancy? So the way TradingRooms works is when we place the order at the room owner level, we are retrieving the LTP, also known as the last traded price, from our data vendor. And that price is what gets reflected over here. But on Lakshmish's account, basically, he is actually trading live, and his order is actually going through on the NSE. And by the time that order gets taken, there may be a slight lag. And so that's exactly what happened here. It's basically slippage, right? So slippage will cause the actual price of the order to be a little different than the order that was placed at the room owner's level. When I go to the portfolio, I can see that on the room owner's level, this is how the order has come through. So we bought TCS at 3,259.65, and already the trade is working against us, right? And on Lakshmish's account, the order was placed at a slightly different price because of slippage and whatnot. And again, on his account as well, the order is moving away. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and exit this order. It's been transmitted, and that order has also been taken on Lakshmish's account. So if I go to the order book, I can see that my buy order got my sell order, which basically netted out my buy order, got executed at 3251. And on Lakshmish's account, it got traded at 3250.10. And so this is kind of how trading works. And what happens is you are able to manage all of your members' accounts in one shot. Now, another thing to keep in mind here is that you will only see the information that you need to see as a room owner. I cannot see any other activity on Lakshmish's portfolio or order book. I only see the information as it pertains to my room. A little bit more information here. So when I go to my members list, and if I click next to the username, if I click on deployment status, then I can see exactly which broker Lakshmish is mapped with. And I can also see exactly how he has chosen to deploy my strategy on his brokerage account, namely the number of units he subscribed to and the investment amount. Okay, so now in the next section, we're going to talk about a very interesting feature called position mismatch. Using position mismatch, the room member can very quickly correct the position of their room. So you can see here that I'm still logged in as me. And when I go to the portfolio, you can see that I have a position right now of Reliance, right? Where I have a position of 1 share, but this position was not taken on Lakshmish's order book for whatever reason, right? So we have tried to recreate a situation where an order did not go through, and basically I'm going to see how Lakshmish, if he's logged in, he can actually correct the position. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to log out and I'm going to log in as Lakshmish. So you can see here that on my portfolio, I am seeing no position, but on the room's portfolio, there is a position. So I have the opportunity now to correct this mismatch. Again, I am logged in as the room member and not as the room owner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on position mismatch, and I'm going to go ahead and click on correct. An order successfully transmitted, and it should have gone through. So if I refresh, you can see that both order books are showing the same exact position. So the position mismatch has worked. So I'm going to go ahead and log out now and log back in as me. So I'm logged in, and I'm going to go ahead and actually square off my position because the position is still open. Of course, since this is an MIS order, it will get closed off automatically anyways, but I want to actually just do this myself. So I go to my room, I go to my portfolio, and I can go ahead and exit the position. Before I do that, I want to see exactly what is happening over here. So if I click on members, I can see Lakshmish is a member, and I can see Lakshmish's order book as well. And I can see there's a position on his account. So I can go ahead and click on exit, and the order has gone through and it gets exited on Lakshmish's account as well. So that's how you use position mismatch. And last FYI, in case you didn't catch that, is when I click on Lakshmish here, it actually pulls up his portfolio here as well. So that's how you use position mismatch. And this is how you use the execution console to trade on your room as a room owner on TradingRooms. And hopefully that answers all your basic questions on how to use the execution console.